After August 17, 1920, the Cleveland Indians needed a shortstop after the tragic death of Ray Chapman. And they looked around and they saw Joe Sewell. Joe Sewell had not played but 100 professional baseball games, not yet in none of those in the major leagues. In fact, he had never seen a Major League Baseball game before. But they picked Joe Sewell, and he filled in nicely. Over the final 4 weeks of the season, he hit .329 to help spark the Cleveland Indians to the 1920 American League Championship and a World Series victory. When the death happened to Chapman, I'm not sure it was exactly this way, but the three teams were within about a game and a half of first place. That's the Yankees, the White Sox, and the Indians. And immediately after Chapman's death, the Indians, overcome by grief, went into a slight tailspin. Joe Sewell was a tremendous contact hitter. He batted 7,100 times in his career and only struck out a little more than 110 times. He also was dependable. From 1920 through 1922 through 1930, he played in 1,100 games consecutively. He played 11 years for the Cleveland Indians and 9 times hit over 300, .312 lifetime batting average. Joe Sewell was Johnny on the spot. Hello, everybody. This is Apba Brian and Apba Baseball Classics, bringing to you game number 57 of the All-Time Greats Tournament and the second game of the series between the 1920 Cleveland Indians and the 1927 Chicago American Giants. Here are your starting lineups.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Willie Powell, the pitcher for the Chicago American Giants, is a grade B pitcher, Z modifier, and he had a 2.25 earned run average in 1927. Joe Sewell steps into the box. We're ready to begin. Here's the first pitch. 61 is a 12. It's going to be a ground ball to third base, taken there by player manager Dave Malarcher, one away. Doc Evans comes to the bat. Had a terrific day yesterday. He was 4 for 5 with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs. Doc Evans, outfielder, digs in the box. 1-2 is a 25. That's going to be a ground out to second base. 4-3. And there are 2 quick outs for the Cleveland team. Tris Speaker. 55 is a base hit for Speaker. Fast runner at first. We're using basic Apba, and that includes the stealing, since I do not have the steal ratings for the Chicago American Giants. Here is Elmer Smith. 24 is a swing and a miss for strike 3. So the Indians are retired in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first, no score. Stan Kovaleski will complete his warm-up tosses, and if the name sounds familiar, we just saw him in game 54, pitching for the 1925 Washington Senators. He went 7 2/3 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, but took a loss against the Boston Braves of 1948. Here he is, pitching for the 1920 Indians, 24-game winner in 1920. Stanford Jackson steps in the box for Chicago. 62 is a fly ball to right field, and that is caught by Elmer Smith, one away. You got Smith, Speaker, and let's see, the left fielder is Evans, playing in the outfield for Cleveland. One down, Dave Malarcher, the very fine third baseman for the American Giants, steps in the box. 34 is a fly ball to Tris Speaker in center. 2 down. And here is Steel Arm Davis. Almost got into yesterday's game pitching, but not quite. 63 is a fly ball to Tris Speaker. So 3 flyouts. And the American Giants are retired in the first. We go to the second, no score. Larry Gardner leads off for the Indians at the top of the second. 54 is a fly ball to right field, caught by James Bray, 1 down. Here's Doc Johnston, first baseman. 1-6 is going to be hit on the ground to the shortstop. 6-3, that's 2 outs. And now Steve O'Neill. 64 is a 38, that is a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. And 65 is a pop to the catcher, and that is caught by Larry Brown. 3 up and 3 down for Cleveland in the top of the second. We go to the last of the second, no score. Shortstop Pythias Russ leads off for the Chicago American Giants. 56 is a 34, that is a Y, and Kovalevsky has that modifier, so that's a strikeout. Pythias Russ returns to the dugout, a strikeout victim. Here is Larry Brown, the catcher. 1-5 is a 8 against a pitcher that's going to be hit on the ground to Larry Gardner at third base. Fires across to Doc Johnston, and it's 2 away. Here is the teacher, George Sweat. 32 is a ground ball to second base. 4-3. We go to the third, still no score. Willie Powell will get Wabi Wansgans, the pitcher Kovalevsky, and then the top of the order, Joe Sewell here in the third. Here's the pitch. 1-4 is a fly ball to left field, and that is the first out of the third inning. Yep, I just dropped a dice. That dice shot out on my roller like a cannon. Here's the pitch to Kovalevsky. 1-1 roll. That's a hit column roll for the pitcher. 32 is a single, though. Kovalevsky is a average speed runner at first base. There's 1 down, and Joe Sewell comes to bat. Tough man to strike out. He will likely put the ball into play. Here's the pitch. 64 is a 2 balls and no strikes. And 42 is a 9 against a grade B pitcher. That's going to be a single infield hit for Joe Sewell. First and second with 1 down. Joe Evans. 36, 14. First and second is going to be a walk. ZZ or Z, 2 balls. That's 2 balls, no strikes. Powell has a Z modifier. 1-2 is a 25. And that's going to be a ball hit to the shortstop. And it's going to be a double play. 6-4-3 double play. And it ends the top of the third. No score. Yesterday was a knockdown, drag-out slugfest. I think it was 7-7 in the 7th inning. He finished 11-7. Pitchers are ruling the day here so far. Here's Kovalevsky to James Brown. 25 is a single for James Brown to center field, a clean single. Average speed. So that brings up James Bray, playing in the outfield today, right field. 53 is a 19, fielding column 2. That's a base hit to the left, and Brown will hold at second as the ball is quickly returned to the infield by Joe Evans. First and second, Chicago, there's nobody out. Pitcher Willie Powell comes to bat. Willie Powell is a 211 hitter in 1927. He might want to lay one down. Squares around. 61 is a 24. That's going to be a double play. A runner is forced at second. Other safe at third. Batter doubled at first. So a 1-6-3 double play. Bound the ball back too hard to the mound. 1-6-3. Brown goes to third, and Bray goes back to the dugout. Suddenly, 2 outs. Stanford Jackson, 16. Ball's hit on the ground to Joe Sewell, who has it and throws to first for the final out. The Chicago Americans get 2 hits in the third, but don't score. We go to the fourth, 0-0. Cleveland will open up the fourth with Tris Speaker, who is 3 for 5 in this series. Here's the pitch to Speaker. 25 is a single, 4 for 6 now. Fast runner at first base. No outs. Here's Elmer Smith. Cleveland is going to hit and run. With Smith, the first roll is a 6. And 63 is a 31. That's a single to right center. And that's going to put runners on first and third. That's Smith's first hit in the series. And sometimes you can break people. He was 0 for 4. When you force them to swing, works out pretty well. Here is Larry Gardner. Maybe sometimes if a player's too much in his head, you tell him to swing, and then the instincts take over. First and third, there's no outs. The Chicago Americans are going to play the infield back for a double play. Possibility. Here's the pitch from Powell to Gardner. 21 is a 30. That's going to be a fly out to very shallow center field for the first out, and nobody advances. 1 down. Doc Johnson, infield, still back looking for a potential double play here in the fourth. 22, though, is a 7. That's going to be against the B pitcher. Surprisingly, that is a fly out to center field, but it's deep enough to score the runner. Sacrifice fly to left field by Doc Johnson, and Cleveland takes a 1-0 lead. Now 2 outs and Steve O'Neill. 1-5 is a 8. That's going to be a ground ball to third base. Fielded there by Damon Archer. Throws across the diamond. 3 outs. But on 2 hits and a sac fly, the Indians take a 1-0 lead into the last of the fourth. Dave Archer leads off for the Chicago American Giants. He hit .325 and led his team in home runs in 1927. 41 is a roll. That's got a ground ball to Joe Sewell at shortstop. Archer's first out of the fourth inning. Here is Walter Steelarm Davis. 34 is a fly ball to Tris Speaker in center field. 2 down by Theos Russ. 42 is a 9 against a A. That's a ground out to Joe Sewell at shortstop. 6-3. So 3 up and 3 down. We go to the fifth. 1-0 Cleveland. Bill Wamsgans was a slick fielder at second base for the Cleveland Indians, and he is the man noted for pulling off the only unassisted triple play in World Series play. Here's the pitch to Wamsgans. 6-6 roll is a hit column roll. And the second column is 25. That's going to be a triple for Bill Wamsgans to lead off the fifth. 90 feet away from extending the lead. And Willie Powell will have his work cut out for him to not let this get worse for Chicago. If they do not win today, They go home. Stan Kovaleski, the pitcher, will hit for Cleveland. And the infield will play in for Chicago. 65 is popped in the air. A little behind third base. The shortstop is tracking it, and that is Pythias Russ makes the catch. One down. Joe Sewell, 300 hitter. No easy place to turn to in this Cleveland lineup. Here's the pitch to Sewell. 6-6 roll, that's hit column. And that will definitely get the run home. 35 is a 6-hit double for Joe Sewell. 2 for 3 with an RBI, and it's Indians 2 and the American Giants nothing. Joe Evans. 6-6 roll for Joe Evans. That's a 2 right off the bat, and a triple to deep center field. 2 triples and a double in the inning, and the Indians take a 3-0 lead. Tris Speaker comes up. He's hitting over 500 in this series. 1-1 roll for Tris Speaker. This could be the 4th extra base hit in the inning. 31 is a 6, and that's going to be a double. Four to nothing Cleveland. Still nobody out. Another run, and we'll have to reduce the pitching rating for Willie Powell. Pitch to Elmer Smith, and I guess I need 2 dice to roll. 31 is a 9 against a B pitcher. That's going to be a single over second, and the run scores. Five to nothing, and Willie Powell becomes a grade C pitcher. If the Indians get another single and 2 home runs, they will have hit for the cycle in the inning twice. Never seen that. Larry Gardner. 6-6 roll for Gardner, and the roof has really fallen in on Willie Powell. 56 is a double, and that will send the runner to third unless he's fast. Elmer Smith will score if he's fast. He's not. So second and third for Cleveland. Still nobody out. 2 triples, 3 doubles, and a single will end the day for Willie Powell. The Chicago American Giants will go to their bullpen, and they don't really have a bullpen these days. They have 6 or 7 pitchers. They just don't have a bullpen per se. So George Harney is a grade C. He's going to be a YZ modifier. He's not rated as a reliever, so he could go 7 innings. And he'll be facing Doc Johnston. Second and third, nobody out. The infield's playing back. 34 is a 31. Fly out to center field. Shallow, so the runners hold. 1 away. Catcher Steve O'Neill. 25 is a 8 against a C. That's going to be a single over first, and both runners score unless they're slow, and Gardner's not slow. Seven to nothing Cleveland. Cleveland will play it safe for the base runner, is rated slow. George Harney was born in Bessemer, Alabama, and that was June 1st, 1890, according to Wikipedia. Sometimes you can believe Wikipedia, sometimes you can't. Here's the pitch to George Harney. 65 is a 35 to Wamsgans. That's going to be a foul out to the catcher. So Wamsgans is the third out of the inning, and the Indians come up 1 run short of the all-time greats tournament record of 7 runs scored in the inning, which happened twice. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. 7-0 Cleveland. Larry Ironman Brown will lead off for the American Giants. He had a 31-year career as a player and a manager. Here's the pitch from Kovaleski to Brown. 1-1 roll, hit column roll. 6-6. That's a double or a triple for Larry Brown. Never know what you're going to see at a baseball game. Even slow-footed catchers can sometimes hit triples. The Indians will play the infield back for George Sweat, formerly of the Kansas City Monarchs. 6-6 roll. There's the dice are hot, and maybe they'll be off suddenly for the American Giants. 65 is going to be a single on the second roll. But a run scoring signal for George Sweat gets the American Giants on the board for the first time today, 7-1. Jim Brown is approaching the plate. Sweat is an average speed runner at first base. 36 is the roll, and that's 2 balls and no strikes. Kovaleski has the Z modifier. 35 is a 9. It gets an A with a runner on first. Single. Infield hit. First and second for the American Giants. Still no outs, and James Bray, the catcher. 45 is a qualify for the win. Stanley Kovaleski's going to have to pitch his way out of the fifth inning here. I don't know why. All right, the infield's going to be playing back. Top of the order, Stanford Jackson. 64 is a 40. That's going to be a runner out at home. The other second double steal fails. That's the first out in the inning. Change the book. Burns at second base. 61 is a 24. That's going to be a line drive out to second base. 2 outs. And fortunately for Chicago, Cleveland is a fielding column 2. If fielding column 1, that would have been a double play line drive. So 2 outs. Here is Dave Malarcher. 4 for 2 on the day. 63 is a fly ball to center field. That closes out the bottom of the 5th inning for the Chicago American Giants, but they score 3 times. It is 7-3 going to the 6th. All right, much like George Sweat, Black Snake Curry was a Kansas City Monarch in the 25 and 26 World Series. 24 and 25 World Series for the Monarchs. I believe he played in both of them. And he was raised in Kansas City, Kansas. And actually, raised in Kansas City, Missouri. He listed his address as 17th and Woodland Avenue, which is just 2 blocks of the current away from the current Negro League Museum in Kansas City, Missouri. He will be pitching to pitcher Stan Kovaleski, and Curry is a grade C with a ZZ pitcher. Curry, by the way, is a curveball pitcher. Here's the pitch to Kovaleski. 33 is a single by the Cleveland pitcher. Joe Sewell. 25 is a 8 against the C. That's going to be a base hit to center, and the runner will go to second. First and second. And a rude Cleveland greeting to the new pitcher. Now the middle of the order, Joe Evans and Tris Speaker are due up. Here's the pitch to Joe Evans. 31 is an 8 with runners on first and second. It's going to be a ground out to third, and the runners will advance second and third. Tris Speaker, 388 hitter, followed by a 316 hitter. 1 out. Infield's playing back. 55 for Speaker is going to be a base hit, and the runner will score Single to left, the other goes to third. Four for speaker on the day. 8-3 Cleveland brings up Elmer Smith. 31 is a 9, and I think that's going to be a out. Infield was playing back. Okay, so a 9 against the C pitcher is going to be a single over short, and runner scores. Other goes the second, 9-3 Cleveland. The horse is out of the barn. If you wanted to say that this Cleveland Indians are a candidate to win this tournament, I'm not quite there yet, but I wouldn't argue. Larry Gardner is the batter. 51 is an 8. Runners on first and second. That's a single over short. One scores, the other goes to second. And it just goes on and on and on. Timeout. So you know what time it is at Apba Classics. It's time to find the 20-sided die. And I'm not bringing the 12-sided die out. It might take a 20-sided die today and stick it on the rotating die on the scoreboard. And let's find the 10. Cleveland 10 and Chicago 3. So in the 6th inning, it was bombs away. 5 extra base hits. In this inning, it's been 5 singles. We got Larry Gardner at first. Elmer Smith is at second. Doc Johnson comes to bat, still only 1 out. Here's the pitch from Curry, 6-6 roll. 16 is a 7. That's going to be another run. Single to left, 1 scores, the other goes to third. That's 4 runs in an inning, 1 more run off of Curry, and everything, his grade goes down to a D. Steve O'Neill, the catcher. 1-6 is a 28. Infield's playing back. That's going to be a 6-4-3 double play, ending the inning. But the Cleveland Indians get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits and score 4 runs. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Cleveland's 11 and Chicago American Giants 3. Walter Davis leads off for the American Giants. Kovaleski is back out on the mound for Cleveland. 14 is a fly ball to left field, and that is caught by Joe Evans. 1 down. Pythios Russ. 55 is a 8 against an A. That's going to be a pop out to Larry Gardner at third base. 2 down. And now Larry Brown. 45 is a walk. So he's been on twice, tripled and walked. Slow runner, they'll play it safe. George Sweat. 46 is a ground ball to shortstop, 6-3. We go to the 7th. Cleveland 11 and Chicago 3. It's been batting practice for the Cleveland Indians in the last 2 innings. They've scored 10 runs. Here is Bill Wamsgans leading off the 7th inning. 35 is a 36. Strike 1. 32 is a ground ball to second base, fielded by George Sweat. Throw to first. Wamsgans is the first out of the 7th inning. Here's the pitcher, Harry Kovaleski. 23 is a swing and a miss for strike 3. It's 2 away. And now Joe Sewell. 1-5 is a 8 against the C is a single. Base hit for Joe Sewell to the left center field. And Joe Sewell is 4 for 5 in today's game. Here's Joe Evans. .56 is a pop out to the shortstop, Russ. And that is the third out. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning, 11-3 Cleveland. All right, Brown, Bray, and Curry will bat for the Chicago American Giants. Kovaleski still pitching. 54 is a fly ball to right field, 1 out. My dice roller field here is small, so if it bounces out, I still count it. The only time I count it as a foul ball is if the dice rolls off the table. James Bray, 34, is a fly ball to center field. Tris Speaker is under it and makes the catch for the second out. And now the pitcher, King Curry, comes to bat. 26 is a ground ball to shortstop, 6-3. We go to the 8th inning, 11-3 Cleveland. Tris Speaker leads off for the Cleveland Indians in the top of the 8th inning. He is 6 for 10 in the series with 2 doubles and 5 RBIs. I don't have a mercy rule in this all-time greats tournament, 10 runs after 5, but might be something to think about if the Cleveland Indians are playing. Here's the pitch to Tris Speaker, 63, is a fly ball to center field, and that's caught by Stanford Jackson, 1 down. Here is Elmer Smith. This is a powerful lineup. We got 300 hitter here, Gardner 300, 292 Johnson, 321 O'Neill, Wamsgans is 244, Sewell 329, Evans 349, and Speaker 388. That is a murderer's row of a different kind. They don't hit home runs, but they peck you to death. There is Elmer Smith. 1-4 is a fly ball to left. That's 2 outs. And Larry Gardner. 53 is a 20. That's going to be a error on the second baseman, George Sweat. My guys Sweat and Curry from Kansas City have not had a good day. Here is Doc Johnston. 53 with a runner on first. 18. And that's going to be an error on the shortstop. Back-to-back errors. And if they don't hit well enough, let's sprinkle in a couple of errors. Steve O'Neill. 1-6. That could close out the inning. 1-6 is 28. And that is a ground ball to the shortstop. He makes that play. Pythias West throws to first. 3 outs, no run score. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 11-3 Cleveland. Top of the Chicago order, Stanford Jackson leads off. 1-6 is a 28. That's going to be a ground out to shortstop. Joe Sewell makes the play, and Dave Malarcher comes to bat. 56 is a pop to shortstop or Y. I don't know if... Yep, Kovaleski has a Y, and that's a strikeout. 2 down. Here is Walter Davis. .26 is a swing and a miss, strike 3. We go to the 9th, and I think I'll let Walter Davis pitch. Why not? All right, two changes here for the Chicago American Giants in the 9th. John Hines will go to play in the outfield. He'll bat 9th in the order. And Walter Steel Arms Davis will move to the pitching mound. He is a grade D pitcher with 1 on defense and W walk modifier. So Davis will get the only non-300 hitter in the lineup, excepting the pitcher. Bill Wamsgans, 244 hitter in 1920. 22 is going to be a base hit for Bill Wamsgans. Pitcher is Stan Kovaleski. He will not be bunting. He'll swing away. 65 is a foul out to the catcher, or W. That's going to be a base on balls. Well, Brian, why'd you put a D pitcher in? I don't know. This could be fun. Bill Sewell, top of the Cleveland order. 52 is 27, and that's going to be a double play. 5-4-3. Walter Davis smiles, and Wongantz goes to third. But there's 2 outs. Here is Joe Evans. And that's a 41, so 24. That's a ground ball to shortstop, 6-3. So that's the end of the ninth. 3 straight innings. The Indians haven't scored. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Cleveland 11 and Chicago 3. All right, Stan Kovaleski returns to pitch the ninth inning. He had trouble in the 5th inning, but other than that, he's only given up 2 hits and a walk other than that 5th inning. Pythias Russ will lead off for the Chicago American Giants. They're 8 runs down. 1-5 is a single by Pythias Russ. And the 11 means he could steal second on the next pitch, but he won't because they're 8 runs down. Larry Brown will come to bat. 51 is an 8 against an A. That is a ground out to first base, who flips to Kovaleski covering. Russ goes to second, 1 away. George Sweat from Humboldt, Kansas. 1-2 is a 25. That's going to be a line out to second. So now we're down to the last out, and that is Jim Brown. Here's Kovaleski's wind, stretch, and pitch. 42 is a 37. That is a runner picked off second, 1-6. So that's your ball game. The final score of the Cleveland Indians 11 and the Chicago American Giants 3. Will be back with a wrap-up in just a second. The Cleveland Indians scored 11 runs on 19 hits. That's a tournament record, beating out the 27 Yankees in Game 39, who had 15 hits. We got 2 murderers roll in this tournament, the Yankees of 27 and the 20 Indians. No errors. The Chicago American Giants had 3 runs on 7 hits, and they committed 2 errors. The winning pitcher is Kovaleski, who goes the distance, gives up 3 runs, 7 hits, 3 Ks, and 2 walks. Willie Powell is the loser. Your score sheet, in case you want to hit pause and take a look at it. The star of the game is going to be Tris Speaker, who for the Indians goes, let's see, 4 for 5. 4 for 5. He had 3 singles, 2 RBIs, and a double. And to look at where the Indians stand in the 64-team tournament. In round 2, they're going to play the winner of the 1904 Giants or the 1922 St. Louis Browns. I think a Browns Indians, 22 Browns, 20 Indians would be a very interesting matchup. Giants will have pitching, but good luck if they draw the Indians. I'm not ready to engrave the trophy yet, but the 20 Indians have certainly laid down the gauntlet. They're going to be quite a challenge for whoever draws them through this tournament. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and God bless.